Welcome back to the deep dive, everyone. Great to have our Chat Like a Native listeners joining us again.
Yeah, welcome.
So you've probably put tons of effort into what you say in
Right.
English, right? Getting the grammar right, finding that perfect
More
word.
for vocabulary drills.
Exactly. But what if? What if there's this whole other layer, something happening while you're listening? What if, the real key to sounding native, to really connecting, isn't just speaking, but actually how you listen?
That's a really interesting angle.
Today, we're going to peel back the layers on something that's, well, often missed, but super powerful in conversation.
Yeah.
It's not just about catching the meaning. It's about sending these little signals, these unspoken cues that say, hey, I'm here with you. I'm tracking.
I get it.
Exactly. I get it.
Yeah.
And mastering this, it's not just about, avoiding awkward silences. It's about making your interactions feel, well, real, natural. It boosts your confidence in a big way.
Totally.
Okay, let's unpack this fascinating aspect of communication, this kind of invisible language.
Yeah, let's do it. What's fascinating here is how these small signals play such a huge role in conversation flow and rapport. They really are the silent architecture of connections.
Silent architecture, I like that.
Our mission today really is to dive into something called backchanneling. It sounds technical, maybe?
A little bit, yeah.
But it's basically the secret language of listening. We're going to look at what it is, why it's so vital, especially for you, the cultural differences, which are huge, and importantly, give you some practical tips.
Practical tips are always good.
Things you can actually use.
Okay, so backchanneling. We've all been there, right?
Yeah.
Talking to someone and they just stare blankly.
Oh, yeah. Awkward.
Super awkward. Makes you kind of trail off or wonder if they're even listening.
Right. Or if you've offended them somehow.
Yeah. That's what happens when there's no backchanneling. We talk about active listening a lot.
Yeah.
But this feels like the really subtle part of it.
It is. It's often subconscious. These are those little responses, the the nods, maybe a small smile, raising your eyebrows slightly. Tiny things.
Tiny things doing, like major work in a conversation. But what are they actually doing? Beyond just saying, I'm awake.
Right. What's the function?
That's the core question, isn't it? Because
Yeah.
they're way more than just placeholders.
Okay.
These signals, they don't add new information, right?
Yeah.
Their job is to give constant real-time feedback to the speaker.
Feedback. Okay.
Yeah. Think of it like this.
Yeah.
It tells the speaker, keep going, I'm following, I'm interested. It actually helps the speaker feel validated.
Ah, interesting. So it affects the speaker too.
Massively. It can make them speak more clearly, more confidently. It's like you're playing catch, the speaker throws the ball.
And the back channel is you catching it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
A soft, consistent catch. It encourages them to keep throwing. If you don't catch it, they might fumble or just stop playing.
That makes so much sense. The silent architecture of rapport. So for our listeners, people really working on their English, wanting to chat like a native, why is nailing this so important for connecting with native speakers? Well, like you said, many learners are hyper-focused on what they're going to say next. Thinking about the grammar, the right word.
Totally. Your brain's working overtime.
Right. And that's crucial, obviously. But if your listening signals are off or just not there, you can accidentally seem, well, uninterested or even rude.
Oof, yeah. Definitely don't want that.
No. So these subtle reactions, these back channels, they're often what really shows you're engaged. They build that rapport. It's a skill, and like any skill, it needs practice.
A skill that often gets ignored, maybe.
Very often. But using them well, it makes you seem friendlier, more attentive. It helps build those stronger, more natural connections. And honestly, it's a pretty low-pressure way to practice listening.
How so?
Because you're actively processing and responding in the moment. Even if it's just a small or a nod, it keeps you tuned in. It's like a conversational lubricant.
Lubricant, okay. Keeps things flowing.
Exactly. Smoothly, comfortably. It helps people feel good talking to you. Makes you not just understood, but, liked.
Yeah, I've definitely noticed that.
Mm-hmm.
Someone can have perfect English on paper, but the conversation still feels stiff. Maybe this is why.
Could be a big part of it.
So we know what they are now, roughly.
Yeah.
But are all these uh-huhs and nods doing the same job? Or is it more complex?
Oh, absolutely more complex. And here's where it gets really interesting.
Mm.
Not all back channels are created equal.
Okay.
We can kind of split them into two main types, roughly. First, you've got your generic back channels.
Generic, like
Like your basic, okay, maybe a simple nod. They're pretty neutral. low commitment.
Right, they just mean I'm still here.
Pretty much. Still following. Keep talking. They're like the background hum of the conversation. Essential but basic.
Got it. So those are the easy ones. But then,
Then you have specific back channels, and these show you're engaging more with the actual content.
so not just listening, but reacting to what is being said.
Exactly. Things like, oh, really? Wow.
Yeah.
No way. That's interesting. Or even just the look on your face, surprise, concern.
A gasp, maybe?
Yeah, even a small gasp. These show you're not just passively receiving, you're actively processing the information. And this links directly to nonverbal cues.
Right, the nodding, the eye contact.
Hugely important. A simple nod, raising your eyebrows, tilting your head, a genuine smile. Sometimes these say more than words. They add that layer of authenticity, shows you're really present.
It really does feel like a dance when you break it down like that. These cues, they manage the flow, the turn-taking. How does that work exactly? How do they keep the rhythm?
Well, that's a great way to put it, a conversational dance. These back channels, verbal or not, they act as signals to the speaker.
Signals like
Go on, or I'm following, or don't stop now. They manage the transitions smoothly. They help prevent those awkward long pauses.
where you're both wondering whose turn it is.
Exactly. Or they help prevent you from accidentally interrupting because the speaker knows you're still engaged and they can continue their thought.
So they kind of grease the wheels of turn-taking.
Perfectly put. Imagine talking into silence. You'd hesitate, maybe stop. Back channels are the little confirmations. Yep, connection's still good, keep going. Makes it feel natural flowing, not like a speech.
Okay, that makes sense.
But this rhythm, this dance, it raises a really tricky point. We know what they are now, maybe why they matter, but how do we get the timing right? And what happens when different cultures do this dance differently?
Yeah. The cultural thing, that's huge, isn't it? Because this isn't universal at all.
Not even close.
Different cultures have totally different rules for this stuff, and that's
Yeah.
where things can get, well, confusing or lead to real misunderstandings.
Definitely.
Like, I know the classic example is Japanese Aizuchi.
Right, Aizuchi, it's fascinating.
In Japan, it's super common to hear lots of responses, right? Like, hi, i-un, or su-desu-ne.
Yeah, sudun, lots of nods, often really frequent, like every few seconds, sometimes even mid-sentence.
And the key thing, the part that trips people up, is what it means. In English, if someone says, yeah, right, that often, you might think they strongly agree with you.
Or that they want you to hurry up.
Huh? Maybe. But in Japanese, Aizuchi mostly means I'm listening, I'm following, I understand what you're saying. It's about acknowledging receipt of information.
It's not necessarily agreement. That's the crucial distinction. I hear you, not I agree with you.
Whereas in English, we tend to use back channels maybe more at the end of clauses or sentences, at natural pause points.
Generally, yeah. And maybe use strong agreement words less frequently, just as listening signals. Nods might be a bit more spaced out too, compared to Aizuchi.
And if you don't know this difference, boom, miscommunication potential.
Huge potential. Think about that business meeting example. The English speaker hears constant hi or su from their Japanese colleague while presenting an idea.
They might think, great, they love it, we have a deal.
Right. Only to find out later that the colleague was just politely signaling, I am processing your information, not I endorse your proposal. It can lead to real confusion.
Wow. Okay, so cultural awareness is key.
Absolutely. But it's not just about other cultures. You can also mess this up within, say, standard American or British English.
How so? Like doing it too much.
Exactly. The too much of a good thing problem. Overusing those generic cues, just can actually sound robotic, or maybe even a bit insincere.
Like you're on autopilot.
Yeah, or distracting. It stops sounding like genuine engagement and just becomes noise. The goal is balance. Enough to show you're there, but not so much it's repetitive or annoying.
So mixing it up is important.
Crucial. Mixing the generic with the more specific oh really or that's interesting makes it feel much more natural, more human, more connected.
This raises an important question then. How can you master this delicate balance and avoid common pitfalls, especially for someone learning the language?
Right. What's the practical advice?
Yeah. So what does this all mean for you, the listener, in your journey to chat like a native? How do we actually get better at this?
Let's break it down.
We've got a kind of playbook for you, step-by-step things you can actually try. First off, and this sounds obvious, but you have to do it consciously at first, listen and observe.
Be a detective.
Exactly. Watch native speakers, movies, TV shows, podcasts, real-life conversations if you can. But don't just listen to the words. Watch and listen for how they respond when they're listening.
When do they nod? What sounds do they make? How often?
Right. Notice the timing, the variety. It's like collecting data.
Good way to put it.
Second, use short, natural responses. Start simple. Practice adding in those basic verbal cues. Right, yeah, I see.
Don't overthink it initially.
No. The key is the timing. Try to place them at natural pauses, like end of a sentence, or when the speaker takes a breath. Not interrupting mid-word.
That's crucial. Pauses are your friend.
Definitely. Okay, what's next?
Third, and this is huge for face-to-face, add nonverbal support. Don't just rely on the sounds. Pair your with a nod.
Makes it stronger.
Much stronger. Maintain good eye contact, not staring, but showing you're focused. A slight smile, maybe tilt your head slightly to show curiosity. These visual things really boost the message.
It's the whole package deal.
It really is. Fourth tip, vary your responses. This is where you start sounding really natural. Don't be the robot.
Right. Yeah.
Mix it up. Throw in a generic then maybe an okay. Then if something surprises you, an actual really or wow or that's cool.
Responding to the content.
Exactly. That variety makes your listening feel dynamic, alive, authentic. Monotony kills conversation.
Okay, that makes sense. But I can imagine someone thinking, isn't focusing this much on tiny signals a bit
Yeah.
fake, like I'm performing? How do you keep it genuine?
That's a really good point and a fair concern. The goal isn't to act like you're listening. It's to integrate these signals so they become a natural reflection of your actual engagement.
So it starts conscious but becomes automatic.
Think about learning any skill, like driving. At first, you're thinking about every single thing, mirror, signal, maneuver.
Yeah, it's overwhelming.
But with practice, it becomes smooth, subconscious. Backchanneling is similar. You practice consciously, focus on it, and eventually it just flows naturally from your understanding and your interest. It becomes part of your authentic listening style.
Okay, I get that. Practice leads to authenticity.
Exactly. Which leads to a fifth, maybe more advanced tip. Adjust to culture and context. Remember our Aizuchi discussion.
Be mindful.
Be mindful. If you know you're talking to someone from a culture with more frequent back channels, maybe consciously add a few more polite nods or softer If you're in a formal business meeting in, say, London, you might be more strategic, placing cues mainly at major points. Context matters.
Reading the room, essentially.
Reading the room, absolutely. And a sixth tip for those really keen to improve. Record yourself or do self-practice.
Ooh, brave.
Yeah, it can feel weird at first, but it's so effective. Role play with a friend or language partner, have them tell you something, and you focus on giving varied back channels.
And they can give feedback.
Or just listen to a podcast, maybe even this one, and record yourself responding as if you were in the conversation. Then listen back.
What would you listen for?
Your timing, your variety. Did you sound genuinely interested or a bit flat? Did you use nonverbals if you filmed yourself? It's about self-coaching.
Okay, that's a solid set of practice tips. Now, what about the mistakes? What should people actively try to avoid doing?
Good question. Awareness of pitfalls is key.
So number one, you mentioned overusing generic cues. The robot.
Yep. Sounds monotonous, maybe even dismissive after a while. Mix it up.
Second big one seems to be mistiming the cue, jumping in too soon.
Huge one. Interrupting, even with a supportive sound, can break the speaker's flow. Wait for those natural pauses, those little grammatical breaks. Patience is important.
Okay, what else?
Ignoring nonverbal cues, especially face-to-face. If you're making the right sounds but staring blankly at the ceiling...
The message is mixed. Yeah.
Totally mixed. You seem distracted. Remember the nods, the eye contact, the engaged posture. It all works together.
And finally, that cultural minefield. Misreading cultural signals.
Crucial. Don't assume frequent nods or yes sounds always mean agreement, especially across cultures. Remember the Aizuchi example. Understanding isn't the same as agreeing. Context is everything.
So be observant, be sensitive.
Exactly. When you get all this right, though, when you master these subtle arts, the impact is pretty amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, it seems like it goes way beyond just smooth conversation.
Oh, definitely. It's fundamental for building that mutual understanding. It builds trust. It massively reduces awkwardness.
Makes people feel comfortable talking to you.
Yeah, and it shows genuine empathy, that you actually care about what they're saying. If we connect this to the bigger picture, mastering these small signals will make you sound not just fluent in English, but truly connected.
Like you're really with them in the conversation.
Precisely. People will likely open up more. You'll feel more confident navigating those social nuances.
And that's really the heart of Chat Like a Native, isn't it? Moving beyond just functional language to real connection. So by consciously practicing these listening signals, these back channels, you really will sound more natural, more confident. But more than that, you'll actually enrich your conversations, build better connections.
It's a powerful tool.
It really is. So here's something to think about as we wrap up. Beyond the words you choose, beyond the grammar you're perfecting, what unspoken messages are you sending right now with the way you listen?
Good question.
And how can you start making those messages clearer, more authentic, and more connecting, starting today?
Lots to chew on there.
Definitely. Thanks so much for joining us on this deep dive. Keep listening, keep observing, keep practicing, and keep chatting like a native.
Catch you next time.